Hey everyone, and welcome to this unrated edition of Monday Movie Pickup. I don't know why I called it the unrated edition. These are always unrated edition episodes. I don't rate these. Hey, anyway, as I said last week, I had some sales sent to me from Warner Archive and from Kino. They hadn't arrived yet, but now I have them. There was the I believe it's $49 deal that Warner Archive has going on. Yeah, ever since they switched to Amazon, they stopped doing the $4 for $44 deal. Jesus, that's tough to say. But now, through a different third-party website, they started doing the $4 for $49 deal. So they officially promoted it. It's legit. And I actually had two other, films being sent to me before that deal even started. This is actually the Shaft collection. This is all the films from the original trilogy. This isn't the TV movies. This isn't, the ones that Samuel L. Jackson was in. But these are the first three theatrical films. And, I heard recently that Shaft will be available through the Criterion Collection very soon. So I just wanted to get a jump start on the rest of the series. And has the first film as well. In the meantime, I also got A Star Is Born. I had this pre-ordered. This is the last of the Star Is Born films that I need to own, of the 4 different versions that exist. Warner has now released all 4 versions, and I think that's pretty cool, especially since this film is in the public domain, that they took the time to actually do this edition. There's already a version out there through Kino, but what's cool about this one is that it actually comes from a different negative. There was the David O. Selznick version, the one that, the film that was owned by his family that was offered to Kino for that edition. But this version was actually the negative that Warner Brothers owns. So they did their own restoration, and that's what we got with this. So I don't know what the differences are between the two different restorations exactly, but I wanted to get the Warner version because I already owned all the other ones through Warner Brothers. I might as well own them all through Warner Brothers, why not? But now let's move on to what I got through the $4 for $49 deal. This is 42nd Street. I don't know much about this movie, except I saw a stage musical version of this a couple years back at Chanhassen. So that's my only memories with this musical. So I wanted to see the film, the thing that probably inspired that musical that was done at Chanhassen, and see what it's all about. Here is The Valley of Gwangi. This is the Ray Harryhausen film. I already own a collection of his other work, Clash of the Titans, and I don't know what else. I think I have nearly everything of his, but this was another one I had to get through the Warner Archive, and pretty much a very influential dinosaur film. Here we have Prince of the City. So this was a movie I had never heard anything about, but basically it's about a cop who decides he's going to do something about the corruption on his own police force. And this was actually going to be the inspiration for a Gotham Police Department series that was going to be done on HBO Max as a spin-off to the Batman. It's not going through anymore, but I thought I would look at the film that was going to be the primary inspiration, and reading about it, I thought it looked very interesting, so I wanted to give it a watch. And then we have here Passage to Marseille, and the reason I bought this was I was reading a review about Casablanca, and there were a lot of connections between that film and this one. There was never an official sequel to Casablanca. There was a lot of talk about doing the sequel to Casablanca back in the 40s. Never happened, but basically this was, to a lot of people, a spiritual successor to that film. And I want to give it a watch to see if that holds any weight. To really, I mean, this movie has gotten good reviews on its own, but I'm going to see if I can see all those Casablanca connections. I mean, same director, so of course the connections are already going to be there. You got the same director, you got the same actor. And then I have all these films I got through the Kino Sale. So right off the bat, I got The Old Dark House. I've been meaning to get this for quite a while. This is an old Universal horror film that's not released through Universal Studios or Shout Factory. This has actually always been a bit of a pricier Kino release. Even got some lovely disc art in there. And then I have here The Secret of the Blue Room. Now, I've been following this list of Universal horror movies that was done by Cinemassacre on their website a couple years ago. So this was like the official list that comes from the Universal horror book. I guess it would be an unofficial list, but at the time that list was made, this movie wasn't available on any home media, but it's now been released through Kino, and I figured, you know what, I want to buy it. I want to see what this one's all about, because seeing those more obscure films that somehow made it onto that Universal horror list I think is interesting. So, and then I have some Vincent Price movies here. We have The Raven, we have The Tomb of Ligeia, we have The Comedy of Terrors, and we have The Last Man on Earth. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of these movies before, and really the reason I bought them all was because it was all a part of the Vincent Price Volume 2 collection from Shout Factory. I have Volume 1, I have Volume 3, but Volume 2 is out of print, and there's no way I'm going to get it at this point. It goes for hundreds of dollars, but coincidentally, Kino has been releasing a lot of the films that were available on that set. So there you go. There's another way to buy them, and a lot of these special features are actually ported over from what Shout Factory did. The only two films I don't have from Volume 2 would be The Return of Dr. Phibes, which is being released soon as a 2-pack with the first film. That will be through Kino, so I'll get it then. But the other one is actually The House on Haunted Hill. I've seen that movie before, but it doesn't have its own separate Blu-ray release from Kino, and it doesn't look like it exists anywhere else. So I guess the only way to get that movie on Blu-ray right now is through Shout Factory. So I guess it'll be a waiting game. Hopefully Kino will jump on that one eventually. But in the meantime, I pretty much have Volume 2 here, for the most part, courtesy of that Kino sale. And then I have a couple other films real quick. $1 Million Baby, of course, adding it to my Oscar-winning collection. I have seen this movie, but it's been many, many years. I probably watched this movie too young. I probably shouldn't have been watching it at the time. But I'm happy to return to it, because I actually do remember quite a bit about it. And then we have here The Bridge on the River Kwai, of course. That movie won Best Picture. But there's also on here The Guns of Navarone, which I don't know anything about that movie. But if this movie's going to be released as a 2-pack with another film, I might as well get 2 for 1. And then last but not least, this is kind of weird, but my friend recommended this movie, Crimewave. Sam Raimi directed this, and I believe this was right before Evil Dead 2. So I knew nothing about this movie, but even this cover is like, it's a Shout Factory release, but I'm like, oh my god, like what available source was there for this movie? Very low budget. And, you know, I saw Bruce Campbell in it. I saw one scene, and I was like, I need to see this. So I bought it, and, and there's even a commentary from Bruce Campbell. So I'm going to have a lot to probably say about this one. My friend watched it. Evil Dead 2 is his favorite movie of all time, and he said he wishes he would have seen Crimewave years ago, because that may have very well become his favorite movie. So, quite a review to give it. I'm gonna check it out. It looks like it would be something that's right up my alley. But that's everything this week, and surprisingly, nothing is being shipped to my house right now. So we may actually go a couple of weeks without doing an episode, and until I get too crazy again. But we'll see. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Lauren, Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for supporting me on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive blogs and videos, and for just $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.